Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to use a pretty familiar cinematic framework to forensically decode the hidden architecture of a system you probably thought you understood perfectly. We are looking at the adoption industry, but not through the usual lens. Our sources today actually use the 1999 film The Matrix as a structural map to expose how adoption operates as this massive legal and logistical construct. So, to really understand the reality of the adoption industry from the inside, the sources argue that we have to look way past the usual hallmark aesthetic. We literally have to unplug from those comfortable feel-good narratives and plug directly into the cold industrial machinery of its legal fictions.
Now, I want you to just imagine waking up one day to realize the foundational document of your very existence was completely rewritten without your consent. In The Matrix, the hero is offered a choice to wake up, right? But as our sources point out, adoptees never decided anything. The decree was signed, and the legal fiction of their parentage was entered into the official record, way before they could even read.
It's kind of like society voluntarily swallowed the blue pill of comfort, you know? That beautiful, culturally accepted story of rescue and forever families. But for the adoptee, the red pill of identity erasure wasn't offered as a choice. It was dissolved right into the paperwork of the legal system and administered at birth.
Section 1. The Prophecy Trap. Chosen is a leash.
Your exceptionalism is a leash. Think about that for a second. Being labeled a gift or being chosen sounds like total liberation, right? But the text argues it actually functions as a highly sophisticated control mechanism. It's essentially designed to suppress the adoptee's natural grief and demand their performance in healing the adoptive family. Because, if you're the chosen one, what right do you have to be angry?
And this brings us to what psychologists call the social contract of gratitude. Under this unwritten contract, the adoptee has to live in a constant state of hypervigilance. They are actively performing an assigned identity, because their sense of belonging feels entirely conditional upon their strict compliance. Even showing basic curiosity about their biological origins is often treated as a punishable breach of these terms.
Moving on to the next concept, the architect, a system of indifference.
$29 billion. Let that sink in. The adoption industry is a massive, global market, and the sources emphasize a really tough pill to swallow. This market is driven not by benevolence but by the ruthless, cold logistics of supply and demand. When the demand for infants rises, well, the supply simply must be secured.
So, the absolutely crucial point here is where that supply actually comes from. In what the sources call the fetal fields of this economy, the very concept of the orphan is frequently a total fabrication. Get this, research indicates that at least 80% of children globally labeled as orphans actually have one or both parents living. The system, much like the architect in the film, isn't being cruel out of malice. It is simply indifferent, turning human beings into inventory.
Next section, forging the legal identity, the glitch in the simulation.
So let's talk about the legal fiction. The state essentially seals the true birth record away in a vault and issues an amended, notarized forgery. This brand new document, which is accepted by every government office out there, legally erases biological parentage and enforces a replacement origin story. It is a government document that fundamentally lies about a person's physical body.
But here's the thing. You just can't fake biological reality forever. When a human being is forced to run software, meaning an assigned identity that is totally incompatible with their biological hardware, the body keeps score. This statistical reality is heavy, but it's absolutely critical to understand. Adoptees are 4 times more likely to attempt suicide than their non-adoptee peers. And when this glitch happens, the system often pathologizes the adoptee rather than questioning the original forgery of their identity.
Which leads us to the escape fantasy. Zion is just another pod.
You might think reunion is the answer, but escaping one contract often just means signing another. Reunion is frequently just another assigned identity with fresh performance demands. The adoptee might now be expected to play the trophy of a biological mother's redemption, or perform endless gratitude for a quote-unquote successful reunion. So Zion, as it turns out, is often just another pod.
Our next section, the inverted womb, harvesting the lineage.
The parallels our sources draw here are pretty stark. Just as the machines in the film harvest human energy to sustain themselves, the adoption system harvests a lineage. By rewriting a name and permanently sealing the origin, the system terminates a biological line on paper. It perpetually grafts an adopted child's reproductive future onto a paying family's legacy. Essentially, one bloodline's continuity is extracted to power another's, and no one genuinely consents.
Let's look at Agent Smith, the viral truth of rage. Society really loves to pathologize the angry adoptee, right? They call it a malfunction or poor adjustment, but the sources reveal a completely different reality. Adoptee rage is actually a correct, deeply rational response to an illegal condition. This anger acts as a viral truth, just like Agent Smith in the film, that the system desperately tries to quarantine. Because think about it, if even one adoptee is right about the commodification of children and falsified records, the entire Forever Family cover story completely collapses.
Getting to the deepest layer now, beyond the 2 pills.
Here's the concept that implicates everyone listening right now. Everyone is an adoptee of the state. You didn't sign this social contract. Your nationality, your tax file, your legal name, all of it was assigned to you by a government system. The only real difference is that non-adoptees sleep comfortably inside a natural-feeling identity. Adoptees, however, they've seen the wires. They recognize that all identities are essentially scripts, written in courthouses and filed in vaults, mainly because they've had to watch their own get erased and rewritten.
So what exactly is the way out? The famous line from the film is, "There is no spoon." Well, for the adoptee, there is no seal. The third option isn't escaping the system, because let's face it, the state still holds your documents. The third option is authorship. It is recognizing that the prophecy trap and the gratitude contract completely lose their grip on you the exact moment you name them.
Seeing the code doesn't magically dissolve the legal seal on a birth certificate, but it absolutely breaks the code's claim on your interior self. By speaking the truth, you turn one person's forgery into everyone's evidence. You reclaim your agency. You are the one choosing now.
We all live in a civilization that constantly tells us it loves us, while quietly extracting exactly what it needs to keep its machinery running. So the only question left is this: if you found out your entire identity was a legal fiction designed to serve someone else, would you take the red pill to know the truth? Or would you go back to sleep? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it challenged you to look at the world just a little bit differently.